Tinny from minibulldesign, and today I'm out in the factory. I'm on the right-hand side of the factory where the metal shear's right there and the bandsaws are right behind me. And this is the door to the carbon loft. Now here on the wall, every day when I got done filling Beth's orders, I kept the orders and taped them up on the wall. So everything you see here is for July. Now I took the time to count some of the items. In July, I sold 105 alcohol stoves, just to give you some idea. Now, that's not a huge amount, but you got to realize that for every one of these stoves I sell, I have to build a stove to keep the inventory up. So this month I should have built 105 stoves. I probably am a little short on that, but that's basically how it works. And this is not a big month. This is actually one of the smaller months. There are months where I've done 3 times as much as I have shown here. Oh yeah, 3 times, and that was just too much. That was crazy. But anyway, to give you some idea of the volume, and that's cool beans. I impress myself when I look at stuff like this. Now, I'm also working on that go-kart that I got at the dump, so let's go out and take a look at that real quick. Okay, let me hook up the power here. There we go. And then I'll go over here and pull the throttle on the... there we go. Just get it going. There we go. It'll go all the way from that to wide open. Now, what I had to do to get this to work was I took it right out of the cart because the wires were down in behind. You couldn't trace anything out. There's another. So this is a thing I've been using for the throttle. I took everything out, laid it all out here, and traced out all the wires. And I took these batteries, and I had a 24-volt charger that I found on the dump that's perfectly good. It's a really old wheelchair, electric wheelchair charger, but it works fine. And I used that to charge these 2 gel cells that were in the little go-kart. And then I hooked up all the wires. Some of them were broken off. Took me a while to figure out where everything went. And hooked everything up, powered it up, and it works fine. Now, put this back on the stand. Just to give you some idea of this getting stuff at the dump thing, which is kind of a tongue-in-cheek joke. It's basically just scrounging. Let me show you what I've scrounged from the dump, just in this one room. Now, I'll start right here. First thing is, this set of cabinets here that I keep all my tools in and other stuff, that came from the dump. 2 cabinets. Both came from the dump. They need to be painted, yes, but they came from the dump. Okay, this vise that I use a lot, fairly big vise, came from the dump. This chair that elevates, came from the dump. This bike that I'm going to rebuild or do something with, came from the dump. This cabinet here that I keep my welder in, one of my welders, came from the dump. And this go-kart that I got here, with a motor and everything, came from the dump. And the battery charger over there came from the dump. I can keep going here for quite a while. There's a huge amount of stuff here, like that right there, That's a trash can from a national park. It's got a lock on it and everything. Don't be a litter bug. That came from the dump. I'm going to put that on the side of the building here sometime. So you can see the stuff that I picked off the dump is actually good stuff, and I use it all. It makes me wonder why people threw it away, but obviously they didn't have any use for it. So this go-kart is just one more part of picking the dump. And I can go in other buildings here and show you all kinds of stuff that came from the dump. So, now somebody asked me on a comment why I even bothered to use coolant on aluminum. Because it's soft, it shouldn't be any problem. Well, that's a good question. Depending on how much material you want to remove in one pass, how deep and how deep this way and how thick this way you want to remove a piece, depends on how much friction you're going to generate. The more friction you generate, the more heat you generate. Now, on this particular piece that I did on my last video, I was taking a cut 400 thousandths deep and about 300 thousandths wide. I was removing a lot of aluminum fairly fast. Now, if I hadn't had coolant on that, I have tried it without coolant. You can go along for a while, but eventually you'll get going too fast and the aluminum will start sticking to the cutter, and when it does, it just ain't pretty. It ruins a part, and it may even ruin the cutter. You may not be able to get the aluminum off. It's just not a good idea. As my father-in-law used to say, just not done in better families. But if you run the coolant, no problem at all. You can go fairly fast, and you don't have to worry about anything sticking or anything getting ruined. So anybody that's doing this and making an aggressive cut, you definitely want coolant. But there's 4 or 5 other things, like are you using a 2-flute mill, a 3-flute, or 4-flute, or 6-flute? You know, how many flute mill are you using? That's going to have a big effect on it. Is it a solid carbide end mill? Is it a high-speed steel end mill? Is it a tin-coated high-speed steel end mill? Is it a center cut? There's all kinds of things that add to that. And there's one other factor that makes a huge difference. And I'm not going to tell you what that one is, because that's my own personal secret. And nobody else is doing it. And nobody else is having the success I'm having. So I think I better keep my mouth shut. So that should answer your questions on why I'm using coolant on aluminum. I'm Tinny from minibulldesign. Get out and hike, take a friend, enjoy the great outdoors, and more important than anything, try to have some fun today and try to have a really great day. I gotta get going. Soon I go into the dump. Bye-bye.